Hello, everyone, and welcome to Infinite Integrations, where infinite possibility meets daily practice. I'm Tanys Coughlan from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am joined by the beautiful Jacqueline Richards from the Wealthy Yogini. Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm looking at your beautiful shirt. Love the color. It says a whole lot of chakra energy.
It does.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, on my end, it's red. And yet it looks very orange on the screen.
Isn't that great? We've got the base chakras coming up to meet us to have this infinite opportunity for conversation.
Absolutely. Oh, someone is saying there's no sound.
Oh,
interesting. Have you got your sound turned?
For me?
Nope. I'm Nalani. She says no sound. So we can hear it. Maybe what I will do is I will put this on and I will double check what's going on.
You know, I love when people stand up and help us and say, it would be great to hear what the conversation is. It'd be great to hear about the giggles. It'd be great to hear what we're going to talk about in the wholeness of the scenario. And are we good?
She's going to try logging on again. I'm going to try going to our channel and see if I can hear what's going on.
Now, I guess because it is the beginning of December, that could be the reason why that we might be having a glitch or two.
I'm hearing it on there, so I think it might be Nalani. Okay.
Okay.
I think we're good.
We're fine now. Thumbs up.
Oh, perfect.
Yay.
Thank you. Wanted to make sure. All right. So welcome, everyone. Now that we've got through our little glitch, which, live, that's what happens sometimes, right?
Indeed.
So our theme today is embodying vital energy and well-being.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to you, Jack? Embodying that. What does that embodying word mean? Because that's kind of a big one, I think.
Yeah. And I recognize humans will use that word and not quite sure why they might use it. I would think we consider that it's a state of where the physical body is, the mental body is, and the clarity, and emotional resilience incorporated in that, and spiritual vitality is it's all aligned. When we talk about what it means to embody, it's so many beautiful pieces, and when we bring it all together, it is that alignment that we're always looking to have, to be, being present. It's about being present in your energy when you're embodied. It's about, I will say, spaciousness. When you say embody, does that mean spaciousness to you?
It doesn't, actually. So for me, embodying means like I spend a lot of time out there. So embodiment means actually like coming into my body and kind of settling into it and actually feeling what it's like to be in my body. For me, that's what it is. And really like feeling present and allowing myself to, just kind of be present with where I'm at and asking my body what it needs, emotions what they need, energy what it needs, spiritually what do I need, like going through those. That's kind of that embodying for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is it for you guys? Interesting. So Nalani says embodied is limited. I see. Yeah. Well, I think that's why I spend so much time not in my body, to be honest.
I love that. Limited means so it can mean so much. And isn't that interesting? Limited means more than just that. limited in the way we think, what we eat, the way we feel. When you touch your fingertips, how does that feel? Is it limited in its feeling? Maybe it's limited when you poke it with a pin. It's yes. See, I said that out loud, and
That would hurt.
there's with that. Yeah, and do we limit ourselves to just that?
So Nalani says, but it doesn't have to be, I guess. I think we can go beyond the body when we embody as well, in terms of like feeling the body, but then our body, we've got energetic bodies. So it also means feeling into the energetic bodies, which are still part of us. So I think those are a little bit more a little bit less limited, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, side question: when you're teaching channeling, Tanys,
Mm-hmm.
when if you were to use the word embody in the teachings and the experiences, is that a word that you would use while you're talking about channeling, or not just meditating, but oh my gosh, it's that beautiful other M word.
Mediumship?
Mediumship. Thank you. I knew it. See, it was an M word.
Yeah, it was an M word. I think I would use it mostly for your meditation. You could use it in meditation. That's the other M word. But also in channeling. When we talk about channeling, we're doing full trance channeling. The energy will often come in to the body, which would be a form of embodiment. So depending on how much we do, it can feel that way. But embodiment, I kind of agree with Nalani here on the fact that it's ethereal to me. So you're really connecting, but I think that the full trance channeling is more embodied than mediated channeling, which is that in between kind of channeling which is ethereal. Like you're just kind of reaching up to bring down information. That would be mediated channeling. So that's how I would use that, I think.
Oh, I very much appreciate that. Oh, absolutely. So what does the team think that's out there wondering and considering what embodiment means to them? And we also dropped in meditation and mediumship and channeling, and there's so much more in that space, as I said, spaciousness.
Yeah. Okay. So channeling to her means using my voice to bring through another voice. Yeah. Okay. So if you're bringing through another voice, that's often full trance. And that's when they're actually, that voice, the energy of that voice is like taking over. So that's a bit of an embodied experience. But mediated channeling is when we do that, but we're like more with it. We're in control of what we're doing. And so we're bringing messages through, but we're not putting a filter on them at all. So it's just like it's coming through. I'm still here kind of thing when I do channeling and it's embodied. Or when I'm in my body, I should say. And I'm doing channeling. It's called mediated channeling for me. That's the framework I use. And that mediated channeling is where stuff is coming through and it's not going through the brain. It just kind of comes through. And then the full trance is where I bring in another voice and you'll hear another voice come through my voice. That would be more of a full trance model. There, and of course, it's a continuum. So like, it goes anywhere in between that because we can let them in varying amounts. So
and now that we happen to be in that space to speak about, Tanys, in your work, you are all about energy healing and multidimensional awareness. I love that word awareness because it's, what do you feel is the most overlooked factor when someone is in someone's overall vitality. So in that space, what's overlooked? It's all about this is great, this is great, this is great, but and what's overlooked when we talk about?
Well, I think that when we're talking about our health overall, our mainstream system doesn't look at energy as a factor. And so that's probably the biggest glaring hole in our kind of our mainstream framework. But I think in terms of energy management, it's getting better where that's concerned. I think that, doing some protection work is on our own energy is great. That's something that might be overlooked somewhat in terms of that, like creating a bubble for ourselves or bringing a tube of light in, or, people have varying ways, or putting a cloak on, of protection. There's varying ways to do that kind of protection. I think that energetic protection might be something as well, if you're digging deeper into that. I think that's one thing, because we don't realize that we're actually in each other's aura. If you're in the same room with someone, you're likely in their aura, unless you're at opposite ends of the room, because our aura can go out as far as 500 feet. It's not always, but it can. And so we can always bring it in. And that's what I always recommend to my clients if you're out like shopping or something, right? So in the shopping this year, we're going out and doing all our holiday shopping.
Oh, yes. Exciting. It's always exciting. Yeah. I got to say, it's always exciting. And it's kind of like making sure there's gas in your car, making sure you protect yourself to get to your location, right? And and I love the idea of shopping. I know people, I think a couple of us know people who'd rather not shop. They're online 100%. Thank you, COVID, for allowing that to happen for people who are uncomfortable with being around so many, because they happen to be in, I'll say, my space, my space.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's okay, you can be in my space.
But sometimes if someone's energy is a little different from yours, and I'm not even going to say lower vibe or higher vibe, it's just that similar vibrations are comfortable. Higher or lower is not always comfortable. So that's why we tend to gravitate to people that are similar, right? Because there is actually a physics law that if there's a high vibration and a low vibration, the low vibration is going to rise. And so in saying that energy comes right from the higher vibration person. So we can lower our energy easily, but raising our energy on our own takes work, right? So it's one of those things where we do have people, if we have people around us that are in a different vibrational field or a different vibrational range, sometimes it's uncomfortable. So tubing is a great way to do that, right? And there's always those ones that are not so good too, involved in it.
Challenging. And I know that when we talk about people being close to us and not giving us space, I am more often than not called to help with people's bodies in yoga, because they're going through circumstances that they never really wanted. And I would call that an illness. It's not just a cold. Sometimes it's not just the flu. It is in many cases much more than that. People who've been told that there are specific things they cannot do because of their health.
Yeah,
we're hearing a lot of that.
I think you've fought against that in your life a fair bit. Did you want to share a bit of that story?
Sure, absolutely. And it's
I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, so feel free to say no if that's not what we're...
We are infinite integration, and this is what we're integrating. And I had a speaking engagement, and a good friend of mine who had introduced me had said, and you have to understand what she went through. She had multiple sclerosis, and she had to move through that. And I said, oh my gosh, you told my secret. And she was uncomfortable that I said that. And I get that, because I would be uncomfortable if I heard someone say, you told my secret. It is a secret that I'm willing to spread now. It's a secret that I kept because I didn't know how people were going to think of me, knowing that I had this MS, multiple sclerosis. I had to look it up when I found out about it. And it was incredibly interesting. The symptoms I had, the doctors had said, you've had these symptoms for a long time. So don't think it just showed up. It's at this moment that the universe said, we need to let her know that she might want to take a break. And the diagnosis is that I should have been in a wheelchair. When I finally went to see the doctor, she said, the nurses will take your wheelchair. That's okay. I walked in my cowboy boots and I was wearing business suit. And I said, I don't have a wheelchair. I've never had a wheelchair. Oh, well, your cane. Where's your cane? We could set it down. I'm not using a cane. And let me be really clear. I'm teaching a cardio kickbox class in about 2 hours. I don't have time for that right now. She was great.
I her to share.
and it's how I decided to see it. It's how I decided to see it. And that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And yoga saved me. Yoga allowed me to be working on breath work. Yoga allowed me to be spiritual in a place that I was told I shouldn't be. I couldn't go. It shouldn't be a secret. And now, because I've talked about it, I wrote about it in my book, but it wasn't me, it was someone else. But it was something I went through. And I am hoping that others are happy to speak to me about that. Why would I think it was a misdiagnosis? I'll tell you, the diagnosis was me figuring out just how happy I was in my body, how happy I was in my life, how happy I was in spirit. And I realized, I'm going to take that break. I'm going to take that breath. I'm going to lift my shoulders. I'm going to take them back. I'm going to release them down. And when I exhale, I know there's places to go, people to talk to.
Yeah.
My story is, that's not a story for everyone who has that diagnosis, but it was for me. It was for me.
I think everybody's experience with that illness or disease is very unique.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Even if it's the same, right? I mean, my husband has MS, and fortunately, he's very mobile as well. I've had fibromyalgia since I was 20, and I'm not giving into this. so I have my days where it's heavier. But for the most part, once I started my spiritual journey, it certainly alleviated a lot of it. It brings to light other aspects of, so if I'm having a physical pain here, what is that meaning? Why is that manifesting? Listening to the body. What is my body trying to tell me with this?
Yeah.
Right? And I also realized that I was a physical empath as I was going through. So I realized that really I was feeling everybody else's stuff as well. So no wonder, right?
Yeah.
So once you learn to do that, and that's where I say the protection piece is one of those things that's, if I had had that early on, I would have been able to manage that a little bit more in my youth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And while I want to continue to talk about that for sure. We've made adjustments in our mind and body, spirit, that I will also say my best friend was diagnosed with ALS. That's an unforgiving diagnosis. And she was one of the reasons why I became a yoga teacher.
Nice.
We had had great times together. We still have great times together. She knows and she sees me, and we continue to giggle. And I chose that I would always be with her. And everything she moved through, she was okay to be open with me to say, and this is what's happening. And I think this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to have this dinner, and maybe I'll have that dinner tomorrow. And maybe it's just the soup I'll have and some tea. Maybe it was the opportunity to say, I understand what I'm going through, and I'm so glad I have hands to hold. So glad.
Well, and I mean that all plays into vital energy and well-being as well, right? Having that social support system as well as your healer team, whether it's usually a combination. For me, it's like a combination of, Western and holistic medicine. And I think knowing that you have that sort of support around you can make a big difference moving forward, even if it's on a quest towards wellness. Like, I think that looking at ourselves as those three realms of being, right? We have three parts of ourselves. And when we look at all three, I think that's when we have more of that sense of vitality and well-being.
Yeah, vitality. It's interesting that I didn't really know much about the nervous system. And then I learned about yoga and the nervous system. I understand that breath work that I was busy doing, the yoga, the asanas that I moved through, the life that I'd like to live is hugely built upon understanding what the nervous system is. And it doesn't have to be tough. It's open. And understanding what the nervous system is about allows us to be calm. It's the parasympathetic. It is the system that allows us to take that breath, lift our shoulders, take them back, drop them down, and maybe I'll raise my arms high and release them down low so I can consider touching my toes. The parasympathetic system allows the prana of the body to exist deeper, stronger, and so restful.
Yeah. So what role do you think movement plays? Movement and breath work in restoring the energy, when people feel blocked and heavy, right? What kind of role does that play in our journey back to wellness and vitality?
Okay. I'm going to start resilience.
Okay.
Resilience is rhythmic. So I know, so let's just say you're sitting on the bus, because I used to take the bus quite a bit. And there's a place you have to go, you got to get, and they're not going as quick as you'd like it to be. And wouldn't you want just to sit and slide side to side and then recognize how deeply you're breathing? Maybe your favorite perfume is on your wrist. Maybe I remember that perfume. I remember the first time I bought that perfume. I remember where I was when I bought that perfume. I remember the country I was in. I remember the people who were around me. That allows me to honor my body's system. And it's the rhythm. I talked about the nervous system. It's the energetic effort that we will choose to have when we decide that ability makes sense for us. It will always make sense. Sometimes it's challenging, and sometimes you come into, I'll say, the splits, the halasana. Sometimes coming in the splits isn't necessarily all that easy, but I will tell you, if you had a block or two or a can or a cushion, you could get into that space a lot easier than you thought you could. Pause. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission. When we move through the rhythm, when we allow this body to move, when you pause, you think, I think my hamstrings felt that slide. I think the small of the back felt that. I think my chakra energies from the base of the neck all the way to the tip of the spine, I feel that because I took a pause. I allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say to all of you, allow.
Allow that moment to breathe.
Yeah.
Right? And let those energies run.
Exactly. Because your blood's still moving from the soles of the feet to the tip of the head. Blood still needs to move. It's about the fingertips. When you shake it out, when you clap, say thumb to heart, I got it. You got it.
So how do you personally maintain your own vitality? I mean, you and I support so many people. How do you do that?
Oh, Tanys, the first word was I go to nightclubs and dance. But and that's
That's still exercise.
it is. Think about the rhythm. So there's oh my gosh, there are so many dance events that happen. And so whether it is the oh my gosh, I was going to say the acoustics, live bands, whether it is you go to the nightclubs, or perhaps you sit and you're chanting. There is energetic dance. The first time I ever went to an energetic dance event, I was in Toronto. I was in Toronto, Ontario, and I was at the yoga conference. I was a guest speaker and I came early, and I was told, you got to come to this energetic dance. I loved it because in the dance, the lights are, it's like the chakra colors that are bouncing back and forth. And we wore masks. Now there are
Ooh.
200 people who are together dancing. I think I bumped into someone once. Interesting
That's
how the
amazing.
vibe, exactly. We could sense
Yeah.
the vibration. We've got it here in Ottawa. I know that for a fact.
I've
And
seen
so,
ecstatic dance. I think that's similar to what you're
yeah,
describing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Energetic status. It is. It was amazing how you just sensed, and then you couldn't help but laugh. And when they turned the lights on, they said, "So we're done." Everyone thought it can't be. It can't be
Not yet, not
because we're
yet.
having such a great time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Beautiful.
walking. It's hugging trees. It's
Yeah.
even in the winter. Even in the winter.
Yeah. And for me, it's yoga as well. And then also like the meditation piece, right? And then if I need to, I'm journaling. I also do, you know, some of my own little ceremonies and stuff that help me. For me, that's what I do to help myself
Yeah.
be embodied and grounded and feel the vitality and all that, right?
Yeah. And
So,
it's interesting when we talk about things like that. What do we do? In my work, there's so many money thoughts that are out there, and sometimes it can get really stressful. We've talked about that before. It's a tightening in the chest because the bills have arrived. It's the clenched jaw because you're at the bank trying to figure out, how do I tell them about this debt I can't pay? It churns in the belly. It churns.
yeah,
I would always want for people to consider those small, slight, easy movements. Like, remember I said when we're sitting in the bus and you're slide to side, you could be thinking about money,
yeah.
or you're thinking about your vacation that you're taking. You're heading off to Panama. It could be that too. Sometimes money thoughts doesn't allow. And then you want to come into a gentle somatic practice of breath work.
Yeah. So that you're actually moving the energy even more, right?
100%. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
releasing that pent up
Yeah.
emotion and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
trauma that we've
Yeah.
collected over our years, the somatic release.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you think is the simplest start for somebody who really wants to bring in more energy?
Oh, it's always the breath work. Wait, I'm going to back that up. Water.
Water.
Always water. You know, what I know, whether it's tap water, exactly, whether it's tap water, you can use tap water or tea. I boil my water, and of course, I add ginger and apple cider vinegar and a little bit of lemon and a little bit of honey.
Nice.
And it's beautiful to wake up. That's like some people would call that a morning shot.
Right.
How beautiful is that? What a great wake up. First thing in the morning or at the end of your night, it could be heels on the wall.
That's my trick.
There was a moment when I was picnicking, and it was late, and the energy, the Mother Nature was being so kind, and here I am by the water, and I had my car parked, so I did lie down on my back with my feet up on the side of my car, just looking at that full moon, which you might be looking at tonight. I will ask everyone, consider making sure that your water is blessed by the moon tonight. So we've got water, we've got legs on the wall. We would consider breath work as in inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4. It's interesting how you can continue to do that. Maybe once, maybe twice, maybe it's 12 times you do that. The longer you do it, the taller you sit. The longer you do it, the more grounded you become. The clearer the mind becomes. And I would say the more open the eyes are when you decide to take those breaths. There's so many ways. And music. Pick your favorite music. And every music, Tanys knows this, there's a vibration in that music. It's the tones that we use for chakras. It's the tone that we use for Tanys. What is that? If we were listening to which vibe?
Solfeggios.
Thank you.
Is that what you're referring to?
That's what I'm referring to. Of course.
528 hertz.
Say that 5 times fast.
Solfeggios. Yeah, that's a hard one. I got 2. But we just need to say it once, thankfully.
just once, because then we know that.
Yeah.
Because that is breath work on its own. When you feel that vibe, it's the skin, which is the largest organ, that's speaking to you. It could be, one of my favorites is my favorite cream, my favorite hand cream. What a beautiful massage. Of course, I have to massage my feet too. And sometimes I take some and place it on my temple. So when we do tapping, that could be what you consider. Tap, 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 tap. And
Melanie
I think
agrees.
tapping is, oh my goodness. And as Tanys would know, it's been around forever. And it's beautiful that someone said, this makes sense. And we had no idea when we tapped the chest. Why would we do that? It is instinctive.
It is.
Instinctive.
Yeah. That's why there's so much importance to tapping into your body, right?
Yeah.
Do what your body. I did a course one time. I think it was called Rewilding or something. And it was very much about doing what your body felt in that moment. So just do how you feel, sort of like you were saying on the bus, you got to be careful if you got people beside you. This was very much a do it on your own in your room kind of thing. I have to tell you. It's interesting though, I was doing it with a friend and we actually did it outside in the pool because it was summer. So we were doing it outside in the water. That added like a whole nother element. It was amazing doing it out there. We both had lots of release.
Oh, I love teaching yoga first thing in the morning. and at the end of your evening. So it's sunset and
Yeah.
sunrise yoga. It's brilliant. And then doing it by the water. I've done it. I went hiking. So I decided to do, it was a sunset hike. And it was stunning to get that started in that space and get grounded. And
Mhm.
and what a great spot when you're busy thinking about what needs to get done. When you run a business, you need to take those moments, those times. When you run a business, it's it 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 can be stressful. It
Yeah.
can have you in panic sometimes. What am I going to do? How are we going to go there? I'm just going to stand
Yeah.
and be calm and do that breath work. Inhale 4, exhale, hold.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to play with the breath,
Yeah.
especially, and I will say in my business, when you're thinking about money and what's the next steps. When I inhale and holding that breath is courageous. Courageous.
Yeah.
Why don't we be courageous and compassionate with our
To
breath?
ourselves.
Oh
Yeah.
my, yes. I do a whole lot of oh my goodness when we're talking. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
And groovy. Um,
Very groovy.
Emily, this is great to hear that they're teaching her son to do tapping meditation in kindergarten. That
Yeah.
is amazing. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
That actually gives me chills. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
I really wish that all the schools were doing that, because talk about giving people like tools for life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Options, anxiety. I mean, that tapping, anxious, anxiety, tapping, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what age you are. I
Yeah.
know it's instinctive. It is when you tap, and sometimes you tap your legs because we did that too. Tap the legs, tap the knees, and then we tap the ribs too. It's
Oh,
self-understanding. Tanis, you said that is all about being understood.
and apparently that's what these teachers are doing too. There's such an emphasis on how are they feeling? What color are you feeling?
Yeah.
It is just wonderful to see. So that's amazing, Emily. Thank you for sharing that.
Wow, much appreciated. Because how young do you have to be? You don't. Our babies, no matter what age you are, no matter who they are, our children teach us things.
Oh, yeah.
And here it is when they stand and scream. Okay, I just want us all to think about it. When that toddler that you happen to see walking down the street with their parents or parent starts screaming, haven't you been in a space as an adult that you've just wanted to stop and scream?
Yeah.
And then you decide to pause. Why would I be screaming? Is that because of money? Is that because of relationships? Is that because the body is being challenged? Is that because the mind is busy being challenged? You just want to stand and scream.
Yeah.
And then you do. And then perhaps you feel a little bit better because that's that energy, that's that vibe. And maybe
Well, it's a
that's why we
release.
sing. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially to your favorite song.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because there's no shame in that. There's
Yeah.
no contracts in that. Just let it go.
Hi, Nalani. Yes, she's in Ottawa. So she's in Ottawa with me, Emily.
Yeah.
So it is in Canada. It's lovely.
I was going to say, and we travel. And we
We do.
travel. Yeah.
We do. Yeah. We hope that that practice travels around the world with the kids. I think that's an amazing
Yeah.
way to integrate that kind of thing into. And
It is.
I'm getting chills. So I think that's just
Yeah.
it, that that's awesome.
Uh,
So
it's not just the scream. It's about the silence. It's about being compassionate. And in the dark is sometimes because we do breath work in the dark. It's really kind of interesting. And It is closing off all of the senses and then opening the senses. When you close off the senses and open the senses with music, with sound, and then you recognize, I needed to do that. I've been anxious. I've been less than thoughtful for myself. I haven't taken care of me. And why wouldn't you? You know, there's that cosmic frequency that Tanys will talk to us about all day long, because she'll talk about star codes, and that excites me. That excites me.
Yeah. It's those frequencies are so beautiful. You know, they really bring in a lovely energy.
Yeah.
Nalani says she heard that Japan teaches empathy in grade school.
Oh,
That's amazing. You know, I think that
I love that.
that needs to come out, right? I think
Yeah.
that we can all be teaching our kids empathy, though, right? That's part of us parenting, and
Yeah.
is what your action, the action that you just did was not ideal. And if you put yourself in that person's shoes, you might want to go and apologize.
Well, the question is, didn't our indigenous peoples, wasn't that what they taught? It was about speaking the truths and understanding that it was okay to speak the truths.
Yeah.
We should want to consider that, especially when we're talking about emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to feel safe, right, when we speak our truth. So I think that's often something that people hold back on, or the reason they might hold back is they're not feeling safe to speak their truth. So really, what's the root cause of that? We need to create safe environments for us to speak our truth in.
Yeah.
And you know, bringing more compassion and empathy into the environment will allow us to do that, which will allow us to feel safe enough to say what we need to say, right? But we also have to learn how to say what we need to say with compassion and empathy for the other person. It's kind of both.
And it's interesting. So we're talking about safety. That's the first chakra, the Muladhara. And then you talked about speaking your truth, the Visuddha. And then there's just so much that the body is saying, please, I'm here. Please, I'm open.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I have this great book, Metaphysical Anatomy. And it's huge, but it has all
write
of
that one down.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's got all of those symptoms that we might have, you know, like back pain, or, you know, all sorts of stuff, everything, like almost everything. And what creates that for us in terms of the emotional and the metaphysical energies that create those things. And I use it with my clients because I find that it's just such a good, it's very like on par for most people. I'm not going to say everybody, but there are people, many people, that if they actually go home and they do, it has questions and that sort of thing for each one. So you can go home and sort of journal about those questions and, you know, see what comes up for you and working through them and actually, you know, allowing yourself to see what the emotion is will sometimes just release the pain. It's wanting to be noticed, right?
Saying, please, I'm here, please. And then when you finally say, you are, I see you, I witness you, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that makes me think about Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono.
Because you teach that. So, yes. So between the tapping and the Ho'oponopono, that's, I think, actually quite beautiful when you think about, for me, when we take a look at illness, you know, it's in a book and it's open and you've been charged with this illness. Why wouldn't I open a book to see, is there other things that I can do to alleviate the pain, to be more unstuck? And I think that's what we just talked about. It's the Ho'oponopono, it's the tapping, it's the music, the vibe that could allow us to move when I hear critical illness, that is something to study.
Yeah.
How can I move to a place where I can continue with strength, continue with love, and then align my life choices along with that journey?
Yeah. Well, and I this is something a lot of people, one of their needs is to be heard. Hear what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is a big one for people.
Yeah.
If you don't feel heard, you don't feel understood, right? You don't feel respected. You don't feel all of those
Yeah.
things. So that is a big
So
one.
just absolutely, because that impacts the third chakra. When you're not hurt, then is that shame I'm supposed to be feeling? Is it in my heart the guilt? How I can't speak my truth?
Hmm. Could be fear,
It's
which is your root.
and fear. I
Yeah.
that's an F word that we should be speaking of more often. Letting go the fear,
Yeah.
or why? Is it a why? Is it a how? Is it a now? Fear.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Definitely family dynamics plays a role in that. She's the youngest of five, often got drowned out. Definitely.
Yeah. There's
Well,
books about the middle child. There's books written about the oldest child. There's books about the
the
youngest child,
youngest.
and then there's everything in between.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, our health practice this week: create a morning ritual of alignment, hydrate, stretch, and set an intention for how you want your energy to feel today. So, that's one, to,
Yeah.
she's saying she acquiesced.
Yes.
That's a mouthful, that one.
It is.
It is.
And it's interesting. Again, before you get out of bed, do a stretch, and I will tell you how easy this stretch is. Like take the space in your bed, as I talked about space in the beginning. You happen to have had an amazing sleep, and then you decided to write about your amazing sleep. What do you dream about? Because there's always ideas that flow. And then you
Hmm.
allow the legs to expand as wide as the bed is, and you allow the arms to reach out as far as the bed is. Can you imagine all of that energy flowing from the spine out to the fingertips and the toes?
Hmm.
What a great way to wake up. And then you did that stretch, and you reached over and you grabbed your water. And then you got
Yeah.
up and you said, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, and I had a chiropractor once that he
Well,
was a huge advocate for doing knee lifts. So lying like in sit up position sort of thing and lifting your knees up,
yep,
you know,
yep.
10 or 20 times, depending on how you feel. It really like wakes up the spine, right? And makes that
Oh,
move. And then doing
absolutely.
that stretch that you said and the water, that would
Yeah.
be a great way to start a day.
Yeah.
So
But I'm going to
that's
hold you at the knees to the chest. I am going to hold you there because knees came to the chest, and then you drop both knees over to the left side and open the arms. And then you pick them
right.
up and drop them over to the right side. That opens up for a great day.
Definitely. And setting an intention.
Yummy.
This is going to be a great day, right?
Right.
And in doing that, you could do a mantra, which we have for you. So if you will indulge me, please close your
Absolutely.
eyes.
While
Take
I
a
take a
deep
sip of
breath.
my water. Thank you.
Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just repeat after me, please. Every cell in my body vibrates with
Every
light
cell
and
in my body
vitality.
vibrates with light and vitality.
I am whole. I am radiant.
I am whole. I am radiant.
I am infinitely alive.
I am infinitely alive.
feel the energy of those words as you take those forward. And we come back to the space. Final words, Jack. Do you have anything going on this week that you would like to mention?
I was going to say I'm infinitely alive. Okay.
Yay! We got buy-in.
We
We're
do.
infinitely alive.
And so it's yoga online from 5:30 to 6:30 on Friday. It's yoga online on Sunday from 9:45 to 10:45. Then we still have yoga for your personal finances coming down to the quasi end of it. However, I invite anyone to come out to have a conversation about yoga for your personal finances, because it's about practical and spiritual solutions for financial wellness. And that's why even every Wednesday that Tanys and I are together, there will be a little bit of money, currency talk that will be involved. I'd like to think that we wouldn't ever have to talk about it. And I will say to you that I will.
You know, I think the lovely part of that is I think that you're normalizing talking about it, right? When we just put it into all the other talk, we're attempting to normalize that as part of a regular conversation. So I think
and it
that's
doesn't matter how old you are. Exactly. We're talking about those beautiful little humans in Japan who are doing tapping. Do you think that they may be talking about money too? Like, I will trade my candy for that, or I will trade a service for that, or I will trade a hug for that. There's ways, opportunities, and thank you.
Absolutely. So we have those things going on for you, and we have Twillow Talk this coming week, next Monday, and that will be it's our Twillow Stash Day. So Gerald from Twillow,
He's so much
Gerald
fun.
Stash will be joining us on Twillow Talk.
Yeah.
And stay tuned, because we actually have some info sessions coming up as well for some of the programs that are starting. So there's the Celtic Shamanic High Priestess program, starts on the 20th of December. And so we're having an info session for that on the 10th.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of other ones that are starting in the new year that we're organizing when we're going to have those as well. So stay tuned for that kind of information. Keep your eye on the website, and sign up and come and see us. We will have also a support group. Oh, that's not till the 20th, but we have a support group as well with Beyond Being Human. And we also have a Beyond Being Human. It's called Beyond Christmas, and it's a special that they do every year. So you could check that out. That's on Saturday night. So if you go to beyondbeinghuman.org.
And I forgot to talk about the 200-hour yoga certification for the new year, and information will be coming out
soon.
I'm excited. 200 hours.
It's great. I did it with Jacqueline last year. It was amazing. So that leads us to the end of the show. And I want to thank you again for joining us today on Infinite Integrations. And we hope to see you next week. Same time, same channel.
Namaste.
Final words? Namaste? That's a good final word.
Namaste.
Namaste.